permits. When you look at real estate, okay, and you go to roads, and one thing when you're driving around New York, there's a lot of unfinished projects that are kind of sitting around. And when you look at why, like right now, California, it's a worst time to be Newsom. You know, no matter how much he tries to spin it, what he's going through in his state, with all the stuff that's going on with the Palisades, what happened, Malibu, you know, out of all the homes that went through it, I think only 6 have been rebuilt, and only 14% have permits to start rebuilding. So think about the permit issue that's taking place in California. You got it as well. When you look at New York City, and I wonder how much of it is you can do something about, or it's got to be a governor, like a bigger position than you. The number of highways, over 60% of the highways were built after 1970 in New York City. They're built past their expected lifespan, most of these. So when they build it, they're like, look, this is good to be for 40 years, 50 years, but you guys are kind of playing with fire right now, right? The Department of Transportation says over 200 city bridges are structurally deficient as of 2024, okay? The Brooklyn-Queen Expressway being one of them, you know, some of these other ones. Then I said, I'm curious, the average highway compared to other cities. In New York City, it's 60 to 80 years, the average age. LA is 40 to 60 years. Houston is 30 to 50 years. Chicago is 50 to 70 years. You have the oldest, and when you look at these numbers, like the oldest of the oldest. Then, when you go to the cost, okay, slowest and the most expensive construction timelines in the world. It takes 2 to 4 years compared to some other places, you know, 6 to 12 months, 12 to 18 months. To build a mile bridge in your area, the average subway extension in New York City, not bridge, subway extension, $2.5 billion to $3.5 billion per mile, compared to Paris, it's only $500,000 per mile. Seoul is $300 million per mile, $120 per mile in Madrid. You're 5 to 7 times more than Paris. So people are sitting there saying, hey man, we cannot have our city, that's the city, the headquarters, financial capital. But then where do you get the money from? How do you fund this? Who do you work with? How do you get construction companies to work? How do you put the incentive for people to say, I want to clean up the roads? And it takes such a long time to go through this. How do you manage all of this stuff when it comes down to updating your roads? Because all it takes is one bad accident with a bridge, one bad accident with that, and then that's a big story everyone's talking about.
Without a doubt. And as you mentioned, the BQE, these are problems that was kicked down the road for years. I had and invited Secretary Duffy, Secretary of Transportation, to come and walk with me and see the BQE and the erosion, because those type of large projects, we need help and sign off also from the federal government. And so when you look at some of the roads that you mentioned in the bridges, some is under city, state, and federal. And we need a combination of those things. And when I ran for office, I stated that it takes too long and with too much bureaucracy to get things done. And remember, while I was brought up on indictment, I was saying to the FDNY, go goddamn inspect the building. If you're gonna pass it or fail, and that's up to them. But at least go in and do the inspection. I was hearing on the campaign trail from building owners who was telling me, Eric, to get a fire inspection, it takes years. And it was my mindset that we have to speed up the bureaucracy, because if I have a building owner developing a skyscraper and they have to wait to get an inspection and they have a 200-man crew that they're paying for every day, it just hurts business. And here's why. The whole concept of government is a flawed concept in the manner in which, if you don't incentivize the action, if I have a person who opened a hotel is paying $35,000 a month in rent, yet they can't have someone come in and turn on their gas and turn on their electricity, or come and give them a CFO for an inspection, and no one is incentivizing. If government is saying, I'm getting my salary if I open you or not, that's wrong. I started judging our agencies based on the end product. How many restaurants did we open? Not how many citations did you issue? How many building permits did we approve? We have to incentivize government and judge based on the end product, because
How much control do you have to accelerate permit, the speed of permitting? Is that influence on you? At what level is somebody able to accelerate the speed of people getting permits?
And that's a great question. Part of the problem is the permanency of government. Many people, who don't want to see this productivity, those who are in government, they have a mindset, we'll wait you out. You're here for what, 4 years, 8 years? I've been here for 35 years. I've been here for 35 years.
Sure. Yeah.
So when you go in and you put your folks at the top, and we have modernized many of our systems. I have a great chief technology officer. A lot of this stuff you could use real good artificial intelligence technology. Should not have to go through this long series of interactions, and that's what we're attempting to do. So in 3.5 years, we've modernized a lot, but at the same time, remember, I had to go to those top issues, building and housing, making the city safe.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, can the campaign be that we're going to go through the follow-on permits that are taking so long to get approved because 9 people need to sign off, and here's what we're doing moving forward. Moving forward, we're going to split the time for campaign because we need to approve the bridges to be rebuilt, boom, 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 boom. Enough of the buildings that are not being built, people are sitting on the sidelines, and one of the reasons why it's not is permitting. What can be a direct statement that you can make to accelerate people getting permits?
Modernizing our system so we don't have all those layers, and that's what
How do you do that?
We're doing that now with Commissioner Jimmy Otto, former borough president, my chief technology officer, Matt Frazier. We're going in and looking at all of these systems, and we're asking the question, do we need all of these layers? For example, before coming mayor, we would do something called stop work orders because there's a problem on a job site. Mm-hmm. What we've learned, there could be a problem with the carpentry, has nothing to do with the electricity or dealing with the painters or what have you. So why are we stopping the whole job? Let's stop the part of the job that's the issue. And now to get a stop work order of a whole job, you have to get signed off from the hierarchy of the building department. My contractors said, Eric, this was a home run for us because they were holding up our jobs. And that's the same thing we're looking at with building permits and other types of permits as well.
Yeah, I would, Rob, where is New York City in the speed of permits of all the cities in America? Are you guys known as one of the slowest? Would you say New York City is known?
I would say yes, because we have so many rules and regulations that were put in place, that was put in place not only by the agencies, but safety rules and regulations that were put in place by laws and rules and proposals.
Is this permits, Rob? Is it zoning permits?
I believe so.
I mean, look at this.
Yes.
Look at this, New York City, 2 to 4+ years. Time for approval, building restriction, very high, zoning, reviews, landmark. You got Houston's 0 to 6 months. By the way, Houston just became the #3 city in America. They passed up Chicago. I believe they did.
Yes.
If not, they're now Austin 6 to 12 months. That's where everybody is moving right now. Mm-hmm. You got, Musk is there, a bunch of guys. Even LA is 1 or 2 years. Miami is years. Chicago's 12 months. You guys are 2 to 4 years.
Now let's break that down for a moment, and here's a solution to it also. We have all of these different procedures that community groups, like the community board, must sign off. There's a lot of layers. That's not ULURP. ULURP is the Uniform Land Use Process. So what did we do this year? We put an amendment on the ballot that will cut that time down to a year. Voters must vote on it now. We had an entire, what we call, a review committee come in and look at how we modify the proposal to do this, everything from zoning to reviews to landmark to rules. That's what's on the ballot right now that people will be voting on. So New Yorkers must determine that, hey, we no longer want to go through this lengthy process. We knew it was a problem, and that's why we put this ballot amendment on the ballot.
I think this is very big because, and that's why I asked you when you said Duff. Did Duffy end up coming in, or he never came?
No,
in?
he came. We walked through together.
Good.
He spent a couple of hours.
That's
with me.
good. He's the right guy. So if he came in, and I, this is a big investment for the city.
Yes.
And to show that you can collaborate with the existing administration and get a level of commitment from them that if you get elected, so strategically for me would be if all of a sudden you get a President Trump to say, hey, I love New York City. If you guys go and support Mayor Adams, we're going to be involved as a federal government to help come clean up New York because I love that place. I grew up in that place. But there's no way we're doing that if Mamdani. If there's something like that to be said, and I know he's aggressively not a fan of what Mamdani is doing, but I think this would be very big to me.
Nowadays, more than ever, the brand you wear reflects and represents who you are. So for us, if you wear a Future Looks Bright hat or a Valuetainment gear, you're telling the world, I'm optimistic. I'm excited about what's going to be happening, but you're a free thinker. You question things. You like debate. And by the way, last year, 120,000 people got a piece of Future Looks Bright gear with Valuetainment. We have so many new things. The cufflinks are here. New Future Looks Bright. This is my favorite, the green one. Just yesterday, somebody placed an order for 100 of these. If you watch the PBD podcast, you got a bunch to choose from. White ones, black ones. If you smoke cigars and you come to our cigar lounge, we have this high quality lighter cutter and a holder for the cigars. We got sweaters with the Valuetainment logo on it. We got mugs. We got a bunch of different things. But if you believe the future looks bright, if you follow our content and what we represent with Valuetainment, with PBD Podcast, go to vtmerch.com. And by the way, if you order right now, there's going to be a special VT gift inside just for you. So again, go to vtmerch.com, place your order, tell the world that you believe the future looks bright. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.